Hello everybody, it's Crash coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are there, guys. We managed to pull this champion on this account. Not personally me, but my clanmate Saber. So big shout out to him for letting me use this account and do a guide on the champion. So Iron Brago in all his glory, guys. Amazing champion, honestly. So we're gonna try him a bit in a clan boss. So we're just gonna do a normal clan boss team. See what sort of damage he can throw in there. So it's not going to be anything exotic. At the moment, we do not have the champion fully booked. Because he only had 2 books left. So, unfortunately, we haven't got lucky with the books to go in anywhere else. Even though 2 books, they're not going to make a big difference. But there we go. 2 books. Which I think is a good thing that he's not booked. Because a lot of you guys asked to see the champion without books. A lot of you guys won't afford to actually book this champion. So it's a good idea for you to see how he performs without books at the moment. Once I'm gonna get him on my own account, I'll be doing something more exotic, fully book him, give him better gear, and take him in a nice clan boss team to see if he can beat Elton on damage or anything like that, okay? So let's have a quick look at the skills. His A1 Molten Pummeling attacks one enemy, has a 20% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. 30% chance fully booked. So if you're using him on a affinity clan boss rather than a void, he can decrease the attack on the clan boss, okay? So that's not a bad thing either. He hits pretty hard with his A1. I think he's on the same level with Elton, honestly. His A2, Fearless Charge, on 3 turn cooldown fully booked. We have it on 4 turn now, is not fully booked. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 3 turns. So this is already better than Elton's skill because he's on 3 turns rather than 2. So if you're running just a classic team, for example, you will be covered for the stun as well with the defense up. Then attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Has a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 2 turns instead if the target is under 2 or more buffs. So, defense up, stun as well to help you CC a bit whatever you're attacking, either if he's in the Doom Tower, in Faction Wars, if you're running him in dungeons, in Arena for example as well. His A3 Battle Storms attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a Provoke debuff for 1 turn. 75% chance fully booked, so that increases quite a lot on the provoke chance as well. Also places a 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns if Iron Brago is under an increased defense buff. So the decrease attack is not on a single target, it's AoE as well, which is great. Provoke, attack down, makes it look amazing on 3 turn cooldown as well. So having both of these skills on 3 turn cooldown makes him amazing for clan boss. Now I know 16 books are a lot of books, so I'm not gonna deny that. Then we have his passive, Bestow Strengthen, increases the defense of all allies by 10% of this champion's defense. His aura increases ally defense in Doom Tower battles by 34%. So how I was explaining you in previous videos regarding this fusion, guys, this is gonna increase the defense on all your champions by 10% of his own defense. Now, if for example you're buffing with his A2 increased defense buff, that's not gonna take in a calculation to say like this, so it's not gonna add up more defense to his base stats, okay? So it's not gonna work like that. But if for example we're going in the Doom Tower, okay? So we're gonna use the aura that he has as well. So right now we have him on 5.8k defense, okay? So we're gonna get a 34% increased defense buff in the Doom Tower, okay? But that's only gonna affect his base stats. So we're gonna get a 34% of this 1487, okay? So whatever 34% is from there, let's just say is almost, it is 500 actually, so it's 500 defense on top of that. So we're gonna add 500 defense to this, which is gonna take us to 6,300, okay? And then from all that defense, 10% of it is gonna go to the rest of your team. So 630 defense to the rest of your team. If you're using him in Clan Boss, you're using a Martyr or any other champion in the elite that has a defense aura, it's gonna work again the same way how I just explained you before, okay? So if you buff him with defense up, that's not gonna increase it, okay? Just the aura is the only thing that affects it, because that goes straight on the base stat, and from there on it affects it. So we have him built on a defense set, a speed set, and a broken set, okay? Total stats on him, we have 31k HP, 1.5k attack, 5.8k defense, 174 speed, 112 crit rate, 190 crit damage, a bit on overkill on crit rate there. The gear we have here is not the best, but it's fine. We can make it work with what we have. We can see what he's capable of with these stats, right? 190 crit damage, 203 accuracy. So we're gonna try him in the Nightmare Clan Boss, because a lot of the champions I'm gonna use, they're not booked. He's running an unkillable team, so I definitely don't want to use him in an unkillable team. You know what I mean? He's not gonna show us his true potential in there. But it's a pretty solid defense. I know most of you might not be able to reach this amount of defense on the champion, but even if you're running 5,000 for example, which is pretty easy to get considering that he has such a high base defense, okay? So we have crit damage gauntlets on him, defense chest piece, defense boots, that's the weapon right here, the helmet, shield, defense ring. We actually got lucky and we got a triple roll there, and I had a lot of glyphs to be able to, at the disposal, to be able to use them. Crit damage amulet, and we have an accuracy banner, again double roll on defense there. So we got pretty lucky with the gear we have on rolls for defense, okay? So like that we managed to give him a pretty good defense. Masteries. Now the reason I went on support tree is because I don't have him fully booked, okay? So probably if you're not gonna book him anytime soon, you might wanna run him in the same way with the masteries. The only thing you might wanna do different is to get Cycle of Magic, okay, instead of Wrath of the Slain. So like that, higher chances to decrease the cooldown. You have a 5% chance, so time to time his A2 or A3 is gonna decrease by 1 turn, and you're gonna get to use it more often, okay? So we have Deadly Precision, we have Keen Strike, Heart of Glory, Life Drinker, Single Out, Wrath of the Slain, Bring It Down, Methodical, and we have War Master. We have Pinpoint Accuracy, Charge Focus, Swarm Smiter, Evil Eye, Sniper, and Master Hexer to extend that attack down on the enemies. These are the masteries. Now, I haven't gave him Nuker sort of masteries. I kind of want to compare him with Elton, so just by looking at him, before I even tested him, I kind of had a feeling that he will be better than Elton because of the passive as well. I know he doesn't have attack down on his A1, but Elton can get resisted 3-4 times in a row and can still screw your clan boss team overall, right? So with him, with his A3, you only need attack down on the AoEs. You don't need attack down on the stun, so you don't have to worry about that. That attack down does not affect the stun, okay? So I gave him pretty similar masteries with what I'm using on Elton, okay? Probably on Elton, because I have him fully booked, I am using defense 3 instead of support, okay? So that would be the only difference. So I'll be getting like 75 more defense, but nothing that will increase the damage from that 3, okay? This is how we have him built. We're gonna take him, for example, in a dungeon. Let's see, probably the Fire Knight mobs are a bit more tanky than the rest, right? So let's see what he can do on the waves. Let's take this out. We're gonna bring Venus in here, actually. We're not gonna use Arbiter, we're gonna use her. So I don't wanna go to the boss. I wanna see the hits he gets on the waves, okay? We do need defense up as a buff to actually make him hit even harder. So for example, if I would use a defense aura here, like if I would use a Apothecary, increases ally defense in all dungeons by, I can't remember exactly the amount. That as well will come into his passive, okay? So we'll boost the defense on all the teams. So we're gonna use his A3 and see what he can do here. You've seen he doesn't have crazy crazy crit damage. So pretty good numbers, right? Like looking at the champion that we reviewed today before, King or Princess, Princess something, I forgot the name of that champion. I'm probably not gonna bother to learn the name because it's just not a great champion. He hits at the same level. Not a savage set. Not a 2 million attack and 240 crit damage. 180 crit damage. And he hits pretty much at the same level. So, in my eyes, he's already great, okay? Just by seeing that nuke on him. So, this champion is gonna help so much on progression, guys. Either if you're trying to do dungeons, faction wars, Doom Tower, he's gonna help you a lot. He does have CC involved. He has buffs as well. Attack down, stun, with the provoke as well. So he's a well-built champion talking about his kit, right? So let's use his A2. We buff and let's try to take somebody down. Preserver. 90k with his A2, okay? That was pretty good. Let's see an A1 as well. And we're gonna give it another spin here. We're gonna do a couple of arena battles as well. So let's see. A1, should we go on Preserver again, yeah? 79k. With the amount of crit damage we have, I really think he's doing great. Unfortunately, I don't have an Elton on this account to be able to compare them both at the same stats. Right, so we've seen that. I think we should be able to maybe use some other skills here. Let's see. Okay, so we have this again. So I'm gonna put it on slow-mo. 65, 51, and I kind of missed the numbers on the right here. He's doing pretty good damage with that as well. His main things that will deal ton of damage on clan boss will be his A1 and his A2. So once we get there, we're gonna talk a bit about that just together first at the clan boss. So how I said, I haven't made anything exotic. I just did not have the chance to make it on this account. Even though he has a lot of crazy champions, the gear is kind of lacking a bit. Not a lot of them are booked. So let's go here. 80k with that skill. Pretty good. And having defense for 3-turn cooldown for clan boss is actually pretty solid. Like throwing him in a 2-to-1 ratio team, he will be amazing. That's what I'm gonna do on my account once I get him. A 2-to-1 ratio just to see how he compares to Elton. So I'm gonna do one run probably with Elton, one with him. So these are kind of his sort of multipliers towards dungeon wise, right? So we got 900k damage from him, 640 from Venus. Venus as well, she's built for damage. She does hit fairly decent. I would take him in a dragon, but honestly, it's not really a point. You understand how the passive works. Don't think like you're gonna take a champion with 0 defense on him and that's it, he's gonna be game changer. No, how I specified you before, you are able either to tank your champions more for clan boss, for dungeons, to don't worry so much about survivability. Either you are able to lower their defense and focus more on crit rate, crit damage, because he will increase the defense on all the team. So that's why I think he's better than Elton, honestly, because of that passive giving you opportunities to do something else, okay? Like if you're using Elton, yes, A1, A2, amazing, but then his passive doesn't really come in play for clan boss at all. So let's try him in a couple of runs in arena. Now I'm gonna run him as a DPSer, so I'm gonna use that. I need to see if we have a Madame series in here. I'm pretty sure we do, so let me just have a quick look. Let's see. She is 216. We have everything that we need in here. Okay, so Sifi, Arbiter, and Madame series. Let's see what they're gonna be capable of doing here. So, actually I'm gonna let it on auto. Let me put it on 1. And he's kind of slow though, so... Okay, so here, I'm still not sure why he's buffing sometimes, and sometimes he's using his A3, so I'm a bit confused with that part. I'm not sure why it's happening yet. Because I've seen him multiple times using his A3, sometimes his A2. So, I am trying him in arena, guys, just to show you as an idea. what sort of hits he can get. Unfortunately, we got to remove the defense up. We have defense down, and they don't have the debuffs anymore on them. So that's why we hit so weak here. I need to see if by any chance we have a Lissandra instead of Arbiter, so we can actually steal more turn meter to ensure he actually goes before the enemy team. Okay, so we're back with defense up here. He should be able to crack on some damage. Let's see if he's getting a turn. 40k with his A1, no defense down on Arbiter there. That was pretty good. He's honestly not an arena champion, in my opinion. You might be able to use him in a stall defense to boost their defense from his passive. Just give him loads and loads of defense. But I still don't find him like crazily interesting for arena, you know what I mean? So let's go against this team here. I think we should be able to get a turn before, but let me just quickly check if we have a Lissandra on this account. I'm not sure. We do. We actually have two. Let's see. Is this one built? She's pretty slow. It might not be the right one. What about this one? Oh, that's the exact one we took before, right? What about this one? Okay, this one is a bit better. So let's go with this. So I'm still not sure why his AI is doing what is doing. I guess if the enemy team gets to buff, then he'll be using his A2 instead of A3. No. Even if they don't buff, he's still using his A2. Sometimes he was using his A3 first. So I guess you kind of want him to use that skill. Now the only problem is we already have defense up from Sifi, so I really don't see why he would use that, you know. I'm still a bit confused about that part with the AI. It might be something broken there. 49k hit from there with defense down as well. We gotta take down that Raglin. 19k hit with defense down. She had no defense down either. Okay. I know most of you are curious about Clan Boss, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. How I said, if you get a chance to make the fusion, just do it, guys, because we're not getting good fusions very often, okay? And this is a pretty good fusion. 57k and 52k hit, if I've seen it correct there. So we got 272k damage from Iron Brago. Let me move a bit my head here so you can see the numbers, guys. Let's try to find a different team, like this one, for example. Hopefully that Arbiter won't create us any sort of problem. So I'm actually gonna manual here to use his A3. How I said, unfortunately, I still haven't figured out why is that happening. Oh, I think they're cutting on us. Yes, they are, unfortunately. Okay, so that was a Ripperoni there. We're not that fast, you see. We're not that fast. We gotta look for a different sort of team, not one that has more speed than us. Because that's no fun. That is no fun. What about this guy? Is he faster than us? Let's hope he's not. Let's hope he's not. We literally gotta get that Lissandra going. Once we decrease the turn meter from them, we should be good. Okay, yes, we are looking good now. Okay, so let's use the A3, see what's happening. Let me put it on 1 here, and one-shotting the team, every single one of them. Okay, this team is not the strongest team. His build is not the strongest either, so to compare the build I have on him with the build I had on the other champion we reviewed, the other legendary from the Orcs, is a huge difference in build, right? That one was on Savage, insane stats, and he was still not one-shotting teams, unfortunately. Let's try him against this team. You see, they're not bot teams, so they are powerful teams, okay? I'm pretty sure he's not gonna one-shot Duchess, which is fine. I'm not really expecting him with his A3 to make a living hell for everybody here. So we one-shotted Mashalid only, the rest they did not got one-shotted. Tormi, he still has almost 50% HP, a bit more actually. Madame Sirius, she still has a bit of HP left. Duchess, a third I would say here. So let's put her to sleep. And let's get a turn meter down on her. And if we finally get a turn with him, we're gonna use it on Tormin. Seems like he's the tankiest out of them. Okay, we do not want to do that. We do not want to wake up that nasty champ there. Okay, so let's use the A2 here. 57k, pretty good. Let's leave it on auto, and we're gonna jump into the clan boss after, guys. So, honestly, you have a Fane, you have an Occult Brawler as your poisoner, a Draco, you have a... What else we have here? We have a Frozen Bench as well. They all kind of have like lower defense, so they're not on the same level with the defense champion, okay? Throwing him in that team will increase the survivability with at least 10 to 15 turns for your clan boss team, honestly. So using him instead of an Alton, instead of a Tyrell, for example, instead of a Sentinel. Sentinel, she's great, don't get me wrong. She does bring block debuffs as well, so you might have to revamp a bit the whole clan boss team that you're running, but it will definitely increase your damage in the clan boss. So how I said, we're gonna go on a Nightmare run. That's what we did before. I don't have Tyrant booked. I don't think Resin is booked either by the looks of it. He might be booked, but I'm not 100% sure. He's not booked either, so the team kind of gets out of sync a bit. But these two together, they're kind of capable of keeping attack down on the clan boss. So we're using Martyr as a lead here. 33% increased defense for all allies, okay? Then, on top of it, he's gonna get a 33%, how I explained you before, from the base stats, and he's gonna apply to his passive as well. So before we had 34% from his own aura for the Doom Tower, so with her, again, we're getting around the same amount of defense. That bringing us up to, what, 6-point-something K defense, so we're getting around 650 more defense on all the team just by using him in here, okay? So let's take the team in for a spin. This is Nightmare, how I said. It's not an insane team by any means. It's just running on a 1-to-1 ratio. Some champions are not booked, unfortunately, which is fine. So we already have defense up, so we can go with attack down here. We landed the tag down for 3 turns because of masteries. We're gonna run this here. And I can click auto from here on. Let's watch some of the damage he does. So 98k with his A1. So Alton hits around the same with pretty much the same stats. His A2 175k hit, okay? Which is pretty nasty, right? 85k again with his A1. So honestly, he's on the same level with Alton damage-wise. You've seen I don't have like a ton of crit damage on him. 102k with his A1 again there. So I think that's pretty strong. So definitely not only great to help with progression, guys, but a good damage dealer as well. 134k hit there. 106k again. So Resin, for example, he's a bit better built on crit damage, but he doesn't have so much defense. And you see Martyr, 116k, 114k from him. Martyr, she hits pretty hard as well if you build her for damage, right? If you guys remember, long time ago in Arena, Martyr's just breaking with their A3 skill, hitting your team to provoke and actually killing half of your team just like that. 112k hit again. So he definitely deals damage. And that's only with defense down, without weaken as well, right? We don't have weaken by the looks of it. So we gotta wait for a Resin to land that as well. 136k, and that was his A1 again. 87. Come on, Resin, do it. Okay, so we got defense down and weaken. 116k with his A3. So his A3 doesn't hit as hard than the rest of the skills. He's an AoE, so it's understandable. 206k with his A2. That's great. Great. I like it. 118 with the A1. So we're seeing big numbers from him, guys. I've told you, I don't need to actually test the champion. If we see multipliers, we can compare them to somebody else that's doing tons of damage and pretty much being the same sort of champion. We already know he's gonna be a great champion, okay? So fuse him with confidence. If you're not, and you have the opportunity to do it, you will definitely regret it later on. Even though he requires that insane amount of books, he's still a good champion. So even with that 75% chance, 5% more from masteries, he is still landing a tag down. I haven't seen him missing it so far. So at the end, we're gonna have a look at on the board at everyone's damage, and then I'm gonna show you a bit the builds on the rest of the champions, just so you guys can have an idea how big was the difference in crit damage, defense in between them, so you guys see what sort of damage they dealt and why they dealt that damage, right? Resin, he's not hitting too bad, but his A1 doesn't seem to hit that hard at the moment. We don't have weaken either. So I think Resin will be around 5k defense, a bit over 5k, maybe with his passive. Resin, he is a hard hitter as well though, so we did not got defense down there, unfortunately. So we're on turn 17, 18 million damage. We're probably not gonna 1k it, which is fine. I literally just want to see the damage at the end, so you guys can have an idea. I will be definitely doing an exotic team once I get him on my account. I reckon I should be having him like in a few days. I'm already almost halfway through with the fragments. So in a few days I should be having him, probably like 4 days, I think. If we're getting enough fragments to collect him so quick, I should be having him. So turn 19, 21 million damage. I might even replace him in my old team instead of Elton, and throw him on the same exact build and see what he's gonna do for the team like that. 167k from a Resin there. So we might be surviving 10 more turns, something like that, maybe a bit longer. 173k from there, but no weaken on the boss. So you see, him with Martyr having her attack down on A3 as well. They are more than capable to keep a tag down on the clan boss like this. At least for what it matters. The AoE is not a stun, right? Let's see. How far can we get? Maybe we can get luckier this time around. Maybe we can get luckier and survive a bit longer. If Tyrant was gonna be booked, we were definitely gonna survive longer than this. Because we would have had everything more in sync here. Have that ally protection is pretty important. You cannot really go too much on the clan boss only with defense up, right? You do need to have more buffs and stuff. If no, you're kind of going down. He got an unlucky crit there. Seems like him and Martyr got hammered. We don't have the craziest heal either. Like, Pack might not be able to fully heal them. So I think we're losing Martyr here, yes. We are, because we don't have our own life still, okay? Which is fine. It's even good because we don't need to keep the video like 3 years long here. Okay, so we got 30 million damage. Let's have a quick look at the total damage on everybody. So we got Martyr with 5.5 million, Tyrant with 5, Iron Brago with 7.6 million, Battle Khazar with 3.7, and we got Resin with 8.8 million damage. So he can definitely deal damage. You've seen the hits he does with the build he has. So, for example, I know, right? I know. I'm not even gonna say it. I'll let you say it in the comments, guys. So, that's Resin right here. 4.5k defense plus 650 plus the aura as well. He was getting at around 5.5k defense, okay? With everything. And this is the crit damage. 226 crit damage. Pretty strong. So, normal, it would be normal for him to deal a bit of more damage there. That's back right here. He doesn't have full crit rate or anything crazy like that. Tyrant, he's on full crit rate, but low crit damage. And he's not fully booked, how I said. You can see that, unfortunately, he is not. Then we have Marty right here. That's the build on her. 38k HP, 5.1k defense. So she was almost getting up to 6k defense with his passive and the aura as well. 188 crit damage, so I actually try to keep the crit damage very similar with him and Martyr. So how you guys can see, he's on 190, she's on 188. So kind of try to keep it the same. And those were the total stats. I think she was fully booked. Yes, she was. And who else did we use? I think that's about it, no? We got the whole team. Yes, we did. So he definitely hits hard. He will be a god for clan boss. I'm not even joking about it. Of course, on Magic Affinity, no. But on the rest of Affinities, he's going to be great. Now, I won't really have any sort of teams to take around here to show you in the Doom Tower, for example. The Faction Crypt, unfortunately, is not open. It's opening in 2 days only. I literally wanted to show you the damage he can do. But I'm going to do a dungeon run in somewhere. Not Fire Knight. Let's take him on the Ice Golem, for example. We have that Provoke there. We have Attack down. So we can keep Sifi to remove that freeze. Rotos might be a bit too OP for what we're trying to do here. So let's see some champions that we can use that are not only legendaries, right? So what else we could use here? Let's see. One Royal Guard. Even though he might be dangerous to use, it might cost us. It's fine. Let's use one of them. Sandless Survivor. Is she built or she's missing gear? She's kind of missing gear. I would have liked to use her just for that ally protection when the boss starts to go crazy. Bellower. How is Bellower looking like? Perfect. So we got one more there, and now we need the defense down. We can use no, let's use Tyrell actually if he's built, because we don't want to have a tag down from somebody else. Not ideal because he's slower. So we might have to go with Stagnite actually. Or I can get Venus in. Let's get Stagnite. Less gold on the screen. $84k hit there. We can see the damage at the end as well, guys. Pretty good. 64, 58. 23k with his A1. No defense up on him. No debuffs on the enemy team. 81 with his A1. Royal Guard, he hit for 31k there. But now Royal Guard, he actually has more defense, okay? Even though the boss ignores defense at some point, it does help to keep the rest of the team a bit more stable, to say like this, you know? Especially when they get hit by the waves or they don't get hit by that specific skill. Okay, we got resisted there. We do have the decreased accuracy on him. Defense up. I haven't seen the damage he just hit there. So Royal Guard, 524k damage. That's pretty strong. 58k, 42k. And we're hammering them. 78k hit from his A1 on the mob there. 55 from Royal Guard. 78 again from there. 404k from Royal Guard. And how I said, this becomes nasty here. Ignore defense is not a thing to mess up with. So hopefully he won't be getting that move again on us, because that will create us serious problems. 98k damage. So Royal Guard actually managed to use takedown twice, okay? So that's almost 1 million damage just from there. Okay, he will be getting another turn soon. So 62k hit on the boss. $74k hit there. So we got Royal Guard with 2.2 million damage. It did use the AoEs on waves as well. 1.5 million damage from Brago. Bellower 366k. And Stagnite 1 million damage. So he can do pretty good damage. I know he's not really carrying the team here. Sifi does. But you're not going to be able to carry the whole team just with him. You still need a reviver, a healer. So he's boosting the defense a lot on your champion. So like that, kind of guarantees it that they're not going to die early, right? Because they're gonna have higher defense, longer survivability. Let me know your thoughts on this champion, guys. I hopefully in like 4 or 5 days I'll be having him on my own account to book him and showcase him on a different level, to say like this. Make something exotic with him, some nasty clan boss team. I wish you luck to be able to fuse him. Honestly, he's a very strong champion. Appreciate you all guys watching. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe for more content, turn on notifications to see when we upload next, and I'll see you all soon on a different video. Till then, peace out.